All right, here we go. Hello out there in Packer Nation. Welcome to another edition of the Absolute Packer Podcast. We are on episode 74, where we have been crowned NFC North champs yet again. Yay! That's basically going to be the title of this podcast, because why the hell not, right? We played the Detroit Lions in Detroit. We won 31-24. I would say that the game was closer than it should have been. But for whatever reason, Detroit, and I keep wanting to say Ford Field. It's not Ford Field anymore, is it? That's the old one.
It's Ford Field.
Okay. All right. Like I said, it's Ford Field.
I'd be questioning my sanity again.
Yeah, really. Yeah, like I said, Ford Field. Edsel Ford Field. No, whatever.
So
okay. Wow, I didn't even see that guy. But anyway,
I would be willing to bet that in the Detroit press, that has been the title at some point. I'm sure they've called it that.
And it's probably not a term of endearment, right?
No.
Yeah.
All right, are we on the air yet? I'm gonna.
Yes.
Let's go.
Hey, you're really.
Wait, are you being Robert Tonyan?
That was great. That was one of the high points of this entire thing we got going on here. This entire endeavor.
No,
Right?
did you see the video clip of him high-fiving himself?
No. He high-fived himself.
Yeah, so like everybody else, like they're all like high-fiving each other and like heading back to the sideline, and he's like
Nice.
high-fiving himself.
There you go. See that? So
nobody else is paying attention to him. I'm like, you've done this before.
I like that. Don't just be walking down the street one day and be like, people will be like, what in the hell? And I'll be like, I rock. All right. Anyway, what I was going to say is that for whatever reason, the Packers of late, I mean, could say it's going back 4 or 5 years, if not that. I mean, they've really struggled on the road in Detroit. I mean, last year we forget that they were getting their butts kicked. And I know last year, in one of the later games, they were losing 18-0 at one point, even though they did come back and win. And they won with no time on the clock. But for whatever reason, I don't know if I'd call this a struggle, but it was probably tighter than it should have been. But hey, we won, and NFC North champs again, back to back. They're 10-3.
and number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs today.
That is correct,
of course.
Yes,
Because you pointed out in the
subject to
Slack,
change. Hell yes.
Yeah, but that matters a lot.
Yeah.
It's only subject to change if we don't keep winning.
This is true. I mean, if we win out, we get it.
Yeah.
Control your destiny.
You can control, like Andrew Hetzel Jr. says.
And so how many games we got left if we win them all?
Three.
We got more than that. There's playoff games.
We have
got to win them all.
Plus 3 more.
All of them.
Plus
all
3 more
them.
after that.
Every game.
Six more games.
Six more games.
6 more games.
And the louder you say it, the more likely it is for the
6 more games.
Is there any fluoride in that one?
I don't have the expensive filtration thing because I was hoping that we'd get it passed.
Oh my god. Oh man, it's just
off the
one
grids.
big inside joke, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm gonna be interviewing another city council person, and she's like, "Please, for the love of God, let's not talk about fluoride."
Right.
Let's talk Packers.
Which means we're going to.
Quick, let's just get this. Let's steer back in there. So I mean, look, Rodgers, he's continuing his MVP performances. I think he's at 39 touchdowns to 4 picks right now, I believe. I know it's a different era, even from the late 90s or even the early 2000s to now, but man, I mean, the guy, look, what can you say? I mean, Mahomes, look, it's between him and Mahomes actually had 3 turnovers in this last game. So, I mean, did that kill his chances? No, but I think that brought Rodgers up a little bit closer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Honestly, though, we have one big game, and that's against Tennessee on Sunday Night Football in 2 weeks. That's
the last game of the season, isn't it?
No, second from last. Bears. Second, or I should say, the last regular season home game, because it won't be the last regular season.
Correct.
In general, or last home game in general. But
What are you talking about?
No, we're gonna have the NFC Championship at home, baby.
The divisional round, NFC Championship, and then we're going to Tampa. I'm just calling it. So, back to my point.
Tennessee,
Tennessee.
All alone in Grandpa Bay with no Grandpa. You won't be there.
Well,
you might be there in the stands.
I'm tired of Tom Brady.
Not.
Yeah, we are.
You love his winning ways.
His winning way. You love his winning ways. I like it.
You know your dad watches this show.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, you better start towing the party line. I don't like Tom Brady.
Well,
put that on a t-shirt.
Jeremy, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, Tennessee. Last, big game of the season as far as being on national television. Aaron Rodgers in that game really has to just set the world on fire to actually put himself in the lead as far as MVP goes, because that's the last televised game that's national on Sunday Night Football. So that game he has to just kick some butt, and then he can get his name probably with the top two conversation with him and Mahomes. What's
interesting is, the good news is, they still have to, it's not like they've wrapped up the number one seed already and they're done, finished. So they want the number one seed. You damn well, and I'm sure they do. So they're going to do everything in their power to win out. So the good news is he's going to have something to play for, which is always good. They're not going to, what I'm saying is they're not going to rest anybody, so he'll have his full complement of people. The only other thing you can control, but it's like if Mahomes plays okay and Rodgers plays like he's playing, you could overtake him.
Very well could. And, I think this is a good situation for this team because we have questioned all year. They're willing and wanting to be on the field on every Sunday. Right now, they should want to be there because all they have to do is win the last three games. And every
Lambeau,
game
baby.
comes through Lambeau. So
I still can't believe Rodgers has never played in an NFC Championship.
Not once.
It sounds so weird to say that, but it's true.
Well, that's changing.
Yes. It hasn't happened yet.
But
so in terms of MVP talk, don't you think that that people will make the argument that the NFC is an easier path because of the NFC East?
It's a regular season award. It's like if it was a regular season and playoff award, because you're going to play the best of the best, obviously, in the postseason. But since it's a regular season award, it's kind of like, you play who you play. Yeah.
I don't know. I would say that the NFC is totally up for grabs because in the AFC you can consider probably Kansas City and Pittsburgh, even though Pittsburgh
lost 2 games in a row.
I was just going to say they lost 2 games in a row, even though they're not playing as well. They are the obvious favorites in the AFC, and I don't think anybody else is really coming up in that conversation.
Yeah,
where in the NFC, everyone's kind of like, I don't know, So
the NFC, even though I think it is pretty damn wide open, it's like, the Rams are coming on strong. Do you want to play the Rams?
No.
It is a lot. I would say it's a lot tighter. There's 5 teams that are 1-1-8 almost seems.
But I would say, because on the blog that I wrote today, all 6 teams that the Packers could possibly face in the playoffs, they're all predominantly warm weather teams. What one of those teams would want to come in January and play in 0-degree weather? New Orleans definitely won't. LA Rams, they don't like that. Arizona, no. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady just said that he loves the warm weather compared to New England. So he just pretty much just said, F the cold.
Well, he's a pansy. So.
There goes our PG rating.
No, I didn't say that.
I said pansy.
You said F. Not in the context of other letters.
Fanta, okay?
I like it.
Fanta.
Like it. Product placement.
God, idiot.
I've had a rough day.
Dynamite.
I've had a rough day.
Look, I definitely want to play at home. I question still how this team's made up, roster wise, and just whatever. how much home field means. And I say, because when you say like warm weather, it's like San Francisco came in here in 2013 and beat us.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
that was a different team.
Yeah, I mean it was, but it's, I don't know. I think it helps a little bit. I don't think it helps a lot.
Well, I mean, if you look at the statistics, the number one seed since 1990, 52% of them have been in the Super Bowl. So
remember last time we were the number one seed? Remember what happened?
Yeah, 2011, no doubt.
Got our
I remember
asses handed to us.
That was 2011. This is 2020. We're talking about two separate years. We're talking about the past. We're talking about the future now. Okay, the future now.
When will then be now? Soon. You seen Spaceball? I love this Spaceball when he says that. When we missed it. When? Just now.
Yeah, but okay. So you're talking superstition, and Jeremy's talking statistics. I'm gonna stay on the side of statistics and science. I'm gonna stick with science.
Science.
Yeah.
Right.
You right winger.
God damn.
That fluoride's making him really cocky. Pretty soon,
I don't know when you stopped listening to science.
They're gonna start trading fluoride futures on the stock exchange.
Oh my God!
I know it. All right. So let's get back. Let's bring it back. Yeah. Look, I think it does go without saying that you do want it here. I'm kind of maybe just splitting hairs a little bit on like how much it actually means, but
since we've been doing this podcast, we've been complaining about not having,
I know.
a high seed in the playoffs. We're in that position right now. Let's just go with it and just, let's just ride out the wave and let's take the number one seed.
Maybe, Andy just likes to complain.
Maybe. Going back to the notes here. Oh. You're all blocked out. What I do is I just pretend things don't happen. Ooh, that's my secret. No, all joking aside. So Davante Adams broke long cherished, I don't know, cherished, but a long-standing record for eight games in a row catching a touchdown, breaking the record held by what Packers wide receiver?
Don Hudson.
Man, that's crazy.
Long time.
Long time. And look, on the subject of Davante, what else can you say about that guy right now? He's playing on like cheat code. I mean, I put it in the notes here. When he had a touchdown, obviously, because he broke the record, but that pass he caught where he took it for the score. I mean, again, he's not the fastest, but he is the quickest, shiftiest guy. The move he put on that cornerback to get past him, it happened so fast you could barely tell it happened. It was just like when he did, I was just like my eyes, and it was just gone. I mean, broke the guy's ankles. It's incredible to watch, And then Rodgers had him on that forward touchdown. I think it was really close. That cornerback made a hell of a play. Otherwise, he would have had two because he had his man beat. And that's where I think his lack of I'll say burner speed might get him. But look, we're splitting hairs with him. He's not the fast. He is. I would say he's the best off the line. His route running is immaculate. And his first move, it's just got the quickest freaking step and release I have ever seen in my life. It is a pleasure to watch. Let's just hope. I mean, look, when playoffs come around, they're going to double and triple him. Obviously. There's no way in the playoffs they're going to let Davante go with Davante. So Lazard and the Tonyans of the world, they should be getting plenty of chances.
And they are, and
I'm saying it's going to get even better. So, I mean, we may see a total coming out party for Tonyan, or potentially MVS, something like that.
I mean, if you watch a lot of these opponents, I mean, they're pretty much boxing in Davante Adams. And what I mean by that is they're literally putting cornerback, safety over the top, linebacker, cover in the middle. They're literally boxing him in. And that's the
referee,
kind of attention that he's receiving. So, and he's still got 80 some catches and, I mean, it's ridiculous. So double-digit touchdowns. The dude is just amazing. So does it scare me that teams are going to plan more for him in the playoffs? No, go ahead. I have no problem with that because
because
Tonyan has shown that he can do it. Aaron Jones is dynamic out of the backfield, and so is Jamal Williams. Alan Lazard has been quiet lately, but I think once playoff time comes, he'll be
he's coming back still. I think he's kind of getting into game shape because he had that core. He had surgery on the core muscle, so he was out for 5 games, 6 games. So I bet you it's going to take him a good 3 games to completely get back, and he's looked good. And I will say this about Lazard, and probably even more so MVS. They both are great blockers. Wide receiver block. I mean, MVS is very surprising with how willing and able, I guess, to block that he is. And speaking of MVS, I would say this was probably his career game.
You think so?
His best game. Yeah. I mean, I think he had just under 100 yards, but
what about the Raiders? What about the Raiders last year? Had over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I think this was still the best of his career, and mostly
just considering the circumstances.
That, and also that touchdown catch he had on the back shoulder fade. You know what I'm talking about. That was the best catch of his career. I think that kind of, I know what you're saying. He did well in that game, but that was a touchdown catch that you'd expect Davante Adams to get. And the way, if I watched it on replay a bunch of times, and it's like when he caught it, I mean, it was a great throw, great catch, great everything. But when he's coming down, he had one hand on it, and he had to roll over to make sure it didn't pop out or even hit the ground. And it was so it was basically from the catch point to rolling around, the whole thing was phenomenal. That was that was the best catch I've ever seen him make. And that was a catch in the past he doesn't make. And that is a throw I don't think Rodgers makes either. To him, I mean. I think when he sees that, he's like, I'm not going to go to him. But so that was great to see. I mean, look, if they can get MVS coming on for real and he's consistent in the playoffs, holy crap, because he's actually fast. He's got better straight line speed than Davante. So nobody wants, him to succeed more than I. He's just been, still, you could say he's pretty inconsistent. But hell, he had a great block in this game, and he had a great block in the previous game that allowed Aaron Jones to get that touchdown. So you like to even see that, him getting kind of dirty in the trenches there too.
It's funny. If you ever watch when MVS lines up in the slot, watch the attention that he receives. He gets almost double to triple team attention because they know that he's going for the home run. You know what I mean?
I know he's hitting a go route. Yeah.
Right. So it's really interesting to watch how teams play him. And I don't know who said it weeks ago that he commands a lot of attention from defenses just because he can beat you deep.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot to that just because of the fact that, teams are literally having an under and over coverage on him.
Well, that right there frees up Davante even a little.
And everybody else,
Tonyan, no doubt.
Tonyan's got 9 TDs. And that was, you could really thank Adams and everybody else for allowing Tonyan to be able to do what he can over the middle of the field, which we haven't had a source of consistent touchdown production from our tight ends since Bubba Franks. Think about that. That's been a long time.
Well, Finley?
No.
Not consistently, you're right. Not consistently. He was good. Finley had his moments. He flashed a lot, but he also got hurt. But yeah, that's a good point. Bubba Franks.
Bubba.
You remember when he had that 1 year he had 12 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Bubba. I think one of the worst things that can happen is when you're talking about MVS is when you have a guy who's a freaking burner, but they don't pay him any attention because they just, even when the other defense knows, they're like, this guy might run right past us, but he's not going to catch anything. And they damn well know the quarterback ain't going to throw to him. So,
and that's honestly, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That was basically all I had.
No, I was just going to go down the teams that really present a problem to us offensively. And I think of teams like Washington who have literally the whole defensive line are all number 1 picks. And they got Chase Young this year, who's been really starting to come on. And they have a good run game. So those are the kind of teams, even LA, for example, the LA Rams.
LA scares me.
Scares the heck out of me because
Jalen Ramsey could be single on Davante and
all game.
down.
all game. And then you have Aaron Donald inside and everybody else, Michael Brockers, who's just kicking butt because Donald is getting so much attention. And Donald has 14 and a half sacks and there's still 3 games to go. So,
wow.
The dude,
Forgot how good he was.
Right. And he's what, 6'1" and 285 pounds. He's a small dude.
Like Mike Daniels size.
Right. I mean, he's just kicking butt. But when you watch him, he plays the game with a different edge that you just don't see. So those are the kind of teams that scare me, that are strong up front and have good rush offenses. We've already seen the kryptonite, and those kind of teams could be our kryptonite. But we're not going to talk about that. So,
well, no, real quick though, you bring up an interesting point, because it's like when you just talk about matchups. I think in the past in the playoffs, especially under McCarthy-led teams, if you could get pressure without blitzing, we were toast.
Oh, right.
You'd like to think now that with the help of scheme and with the help of an Aaron Jones screen game and things like that, that if that does happen in a game in the playoffs, that we actually can adjust.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm hoping. Under McCarthy, no way. Under LaFleur, I mean, let's hope so.
Right. I think you hit the nail on the head with the pressure point. I mean, if you can get to the quarterback with 4 rushers, you put yourself ahead of the competition, because not too many teams can do that at a consistent basis. So how do you beat the Packers? Yeah, a pass rush of 4 and nobody else. And you just kind of play that Tampa 2 where you keep everybody underneath. And, that's proven to be our.
And in the past, we never had a dynamic back, and we never used a screen game.
And
so it was like, I mean, that's what, when you go back to 2011, when the Giants came in and beat us in the divisional round, they were getting constant pressure with 4.
Right.
And we had all those weapons, but it was like they just played, like you said, they just sat back and played cover 2.
But that's why the Giants were so successful against us, because they had the Michael Strahans and Juan Pierre-Paul, I think his name.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Remember
his hand looked like this because a firework went off?
Firework, yeah. He tried to, we're not going to go there. Yeah, I mean, the Giants gave us so many problems just because.
They beat us twice at Lambeau. God, those. I went to the NFC Championship in 2008.
Oh, that was a cold
Favre's last game.
That was a cold one.
Oh, it was. I remember distinctly leaving that game and going, we went to the second coldest game basically in the history of the league behind the Ice Bowl. The least you could do was win the game. The least you could do was win the game. That was what I kept thinking.
That's all we're hoping is for another chance.
I keep forgetting the coming up game is Saturday.
Yes, Saturday night.
Interesting. Carolina. And they already ruled out McCaffrey.
Just heard that, yeah.
That's big. I did not hear that.
Big. Yes.
Wow.
Look, we've said, I mean, McCaffrey, no McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Any team can still beat us. So it's not like, now it's just going to be a cakewalk. No. Sure. We're still not there yet. Okay, back to the notes. We talked about MVS, talked about Davante Adams and Rodgers. Aaron Jones, he only had 4 touches in the first half, which I wrote that down somewhere when we were watching the game at halftime. I was like, what? And as I think about it and just remembering the game flow, I mean, we were able to pass all over him. So I think that's part of it. They're just like, well, we can pass on him. We'll do that. Okay. And I'm sure Aaron Rodgers wanted to do that too. The good news is in the second half, I can't remember how many touches he got, but he got it. I want to say he got 8 to 12 at least in the second half.
He finished with 15 carries for 69 yards.
Okay.
Roughly
I mean, not a ton of yards, but he had some key first downs in the second half. So they kind of, I'm not going to say they totally woke up, but they were able to salt the game away a little bit more and use him. But I was really surprised. It was like 4 touches. Because that sounds like that 4 touches stat sounds like McCarthy.
It does, but I mean, you go into that game and you're Matt LaFleur. How do you attack this Lion?
Yeah, and defense? They were down like 2 starting cornerbacks.
So they lost their starting quarterbacks, Desmond Trufant and Jeff Okudah. So what are you going to attack? You're going to attack the weakness, which they're playing backups, And
I guess I hear you, and I was wondering more too because it was like, wasn't it tied at halftime? I think. In part of you's going, we got to put this damn game away, and let's mix it up a little bit with the offense because they were obviously pass. But again, so Aaron Jones, we may as well talk about. He fired his agent. Apparently, this happened last week. And he hired a new one today. Who did he hire?
Drew the Burger
Me!
Rosenhaus.
Oh,
sorry.
Man.
Oh, boy. I don't know what to say.
I'd be a good agent. Screw you guys.
It's that Florida.
Well, if the Packers are looking to negotiate with a good agent, Elliott would be the guy because every contract would be below value.
Ah, nice. I was trying to think of a good singer there too.
Well, you know what? We'll see. We'll see what next year brings.
Like, let's see what the stipulations are. Elliott, he would like a
I don't know, man.
supply of fluoride.
Next year's going to be interesting. There's going to be some paradigm shifts in budgets across the world.
Yeah, no doubt. We're not seeing that until
not just in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
But also the NFL. Like they're not exempt.
Yeah, well, the cap's going to go down next year.
Right. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at these quarterbacks that they signed and not just Philadelphia.
Oh my God!
And being like, what did we do?
Yeah, like the Vikings.
The Vikings would be another example. Yeah,
with Kirk Cousins, they're gonna OD on fluoride water.
Joke never dies.
Really? It's like, wait a minute. You brought in a pallet of toothpaste? What are you doing?
I was watching an episode of Seinfeld where it was the one where they go, hello.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm not looking up if you're doing that voice.
Right.
Hit by the ball of oil.
And they're like, the joke is over. It's done. The joke is done. Give it up. You know? That's how I feel.
Man, I'm never going to give that up. You kidding me?
That's how I feel about fluoride. You got to move on. It's not funny.
Seinfeld. Everything can go back to Seinfeld all the time.
Well, Seinfeld, yes, but not the fluoride. Nobody.
Hello. I'm not looking up if you're doing that voice. And then remember they pushed the ball of oil.
I just watched it last night. The ball of oil.
Jerry goes. Jerry, they panned to Jerry, and he goes, "This is going to be a shame." No, one more thing on that, and then I'll. So, Jerry, I have to.
The cliff.
I love Seinfeld, man. So Jerry's talking to like his little apprentice, or not Kramer's talking to like his apprentice. Kramerica Industries. That's right. It's like this teenage kid. They have a beach ball full of oil. You remember this, Jeremy?
No.
Oh my God! And he sits there and he goes. His name's Billy. This guy, I can't remember his name.
I think it was Billy.
If I would have told you that I'd be standing here about to solve the world's energy problems, I would have said, "You're crazy." Now let's throw this giant ball of oil out the window.
Oh my God.
And somehow I feel like that's a metaphor for Mike McCarthy.
Oh boy, I let my other coworkers in on the little nesting doll thing about McCarthy, and they loved it.
I want that T-shirt so bad. We're going to create a Patreon
there's
just so that I can have that T-shirt.
There's something coming. Trust me. I will put aside something that is actually worthwhile and shift it over to this and work on it.
like there's the guy from Futurama, Fry, like.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
Take my money.
Or is it Henny Youngman? Take my wife, please. Isn't that the guy? That's old style, baby. I was watching Dean Martin roast on YouTube the other day.
Wait, so I could have given you my wife for T-shirts.
Take my wife, please.
This could have happened a long time ago. I had no idea.
Do you hear that?
I'll be right back.
Was that fluoride water? No, it was a fluoride toilet.
Oh,
fluoride. All right, we lost everybody now.
We didn't have anybody.
Oh boy, jeez Louise. Okay, so Robert Tonyan had another touchdown. He's got 9. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now look, he's going to the Pro Bowl. I think he's leading the NFL in many tight end stats. And I will be the first to say, and my dad,
including self-congratulations.
my dad, hey, eating crow, as they like to say. My dad told me, he goes, "You told me last year that Tonyan was just a jag," and I did say that because he was undrafted. I didn't know anything about the guy. And you're going, "Oh, we got Jimmy Graham." And as my dad,
which one of those is your impression of your dad?
None of them.
I just want to.
That was me. That was me impersonating, going, "We got Jimmy Graham." Blah, 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 blah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make it.
No,
I just want to
verification.
No, my dad was right. And remember, no, my dad astutely pointed out, it was a very good point. I think I brought this up once before, that Jimmy Graham was stealing snaps from Tonyan.
Yeah.
Yes,
He
it was.
stunted his growth.
Yeah,
And I remember
yeah.
when he first told me that, I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was wrong.
No,
'Cause look-
that was an excellent point. Actually.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, but
Yeah.
Look, I told you guys, I thought Sternberger was going to have like a breakout year. And has he been horrible? No. Has he been disappointment? Yes. I mean, he's hurt. He's in the concussion protocol now, and he had COVID at the beginning of the year, and he was on the reserve list, and then he got hurt a little bit. And it's like, but geez, look, Tonyan, I didn't know his measurement. He's a big dude. I didn't realize he was 6'5". I mean, look, Rodgers makes everybody better. If Tonyan's on another team, is he doing what he's doing? I don't think so, but I think he's pretty good. So I'll take him.
Well, as long as you'll take him.
We're good then.
Take my wife, please, and Tonyan. Henny, you guys have never heard of Henny Youngman? It's old school right there, baby. That's like the 1940s.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was in my youth.
Oh, at 6. I remember, Abraham Lincoln was my neighbor. It's like,
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know what is
All right,
wrong
now you
with
guys are gonna love this. So I'm going on to the defense now. Okay.
Yeah, you should, because we have a lot of arrows to toss your way.
Oh boy. So this is the first bullet verbatim. The defense started off exactly like we expected, by being awful. It was like I put here in jest. Well, actually, a stat first, and they put this up on the screen. The Packers allow points on almost 95% of the opening drives under Mike Pettin in his tenure. Worst in the NFL. So we got that going for us, which is nice. To quote Caddyshack. Now, they gave up a nice, this isn't just too, a 98-play, 10-minute touchdown drive is what I wrote here. I think it was like a 15-play. But then, I had the caveat there that first plays are scripted by every team. And Darrell Bevel's the interim coach. There was probably some unscouted looks. I'm trying to help out Mike Pettin here, but it's hard to do that. The defense is, boy.
Well, how are you trying to help exactly?
How can you help something that cannot be helped?
Sorry.
Well, no, that's
it's sleep deprivation. I can't.
Yeah,
So.
and fluoride. Anyway,
And if Andy had to
even-
explain it, he would just say, you dug the hole, now bury it.
all right, I made my bed, now lie in it, right? Kind of thing. Yes, gladly. The only way this defense is getting better is if Pettin's gone.
Yeah, but I'm beyond that. I'm beyond that at this point. Like we're literally 10-3. We're riding pretty high right now. I'm on the positive train. I've been on a negative train all year.
Have you been drinking fluoride too?
And the fluoride has gotten to my vision and to my mind.
Yeah. So I flipped that script last week. I was like I mean the week before this game, the game before, took you guys a week to catch up with me, but like, yeah, the defense is deficient and special teams has some big deficiencies, but
10-3, can't argue with that.
But you know what? I think if Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones and some of the supporting cast can will a win into being, it can happen. So let's ride that train, like Jeremy said.
I'll say this. In a way, it's kind of like the spoiled Packers scenario too. It's like we're 10-3 and we're bitching. Here I am bitching about the defense. I always tend to look at it. I'm sure you guys do too.
Yeah. I
look at it from the prism of in the playoffs, right? It's like,
yeah.
Look at it.
I know.
We have been fooled so many times,
and I bust in your chops about that. And I'm.
But I get
I'm
it too. When you're 10-3, it's like we're a number one seed.
Yeah, I'm concerned too. And facing the Saints again, for instance, like that could be really tough.
Yeah, and it's just it's that context of the playoffs. You're just
absolutely.
And you know what?
You almost feel like it's inevitable.
Right. And I don't like to go down that train because we're not there yet. But like literally every game this year, we've been in it. 13 games in, we've been every single game, except for Tampa.
Even that
past
we were
the first
winning.
quarter.
We were winning 10-0 in that.
Right.
Game.
So past the first quarter, then it just went downhill. But I mean, literally every game this year, for the most part, we've been in it up until the end. So that's all you can ask from this team is that you're in it, so that you have the opportunity at the end to win it. And that's all that you can ask for. And that's what they're giving us. And I'm
with my boy Mason Crosby.
Mason with the 57.
I thought it was awesome? 58. Was it 57?
58, 57, whatever. I
think it's 58.
It doesn't matter. 157. He could do it.
I mean, one thing I didn't realize was that Detroit was the venue where he missed 5. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
He missed 5 and it cost him the game. He literally. And so to kick his career long there, I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Might be fluoride.
You guys have been naysayers on the Mason Crosby thing all along.
No, I have not.
I have
not.
I've been his only believer.
Really?
Yeah.
Look, you seriously want to rehash this, Elliot?
Even he's rolling his eyes.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
He's
the most overpaid kicker. Why do you pay a kicker?
You have recordings?
Scaring me.
I freaking do.
Oh my goodness.
No,
like
you know what?
Jim Carrey when he's in the pool.
A
doctor, not a pool man.
I was wrong.
All right.
He you know what? I think you can definitively say that
he's going to make the Pro Bowl.
He had to have made a difference in at least one game this season, and that could be the difference. So,
well, he made a direct impact on this too, because remember when they had that long return on the kick right after we scored a touchdown, and he made a tackle.
Right. So,
actually,
I mean,
unlike J.K. Scott, he actually went in and made a tackle.
And it's always hard to say because, like, well, if that didn't happen, something else. It's like you unwind history too much, you make yourself insane. But I think without him, we would not be 10-3.
I agree. I bet you he's good for a game.
Yeah, I think you can safely say that. And so, how much is that worth? It's not worth unlimited.
Well, Mister, I love the free market. How much is he worth? Whatever someone's willing to pay him, right?
Well, I mean, it's so that's where I do struggle. But like, he won a game. Well, I don't know.
58 yards. I mean, it's a dome. But that's still shit.
It's still phenomenal. Yeah. I couldn't do it. And I mean, I could do a lot, but.
You know what's funny? Have you ever tried to actually kick a field goal?
Yeah.
Like you go, man, it's like you get like freaking 20 yards back, and you're like, how do they do this? And that's funny. It's like,
yeah, it's insane. It's actually insane.
When you backed up from 45 yards, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, my God.
You see it, and it's like this in the distance.
I know. And then you go and try and kick it, and you feel like Charlie Brown with Lucy pulling the ball back. It's like, geez Louise.
Yeah. I know.
I remember. This is hilarious. So,
you know what though? Could he fix our website while we're on the call? No, he couldn't.
Well, not in his job description.
It's not really in mine either. How much you paid me?
I pay you Bitcoin.
I thought it was a pound.
Bitcoin. Oh God.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so next. Speaking of Bitcoin, no, I'm just kidding. Let's pay Preston Smith in Bitcoin. I have him here. He's low. What else can you say? He looks like he's loafing around, and Rashawn Gary should get snaps ahead of him. And he started to, but he got hurt in this game apparently because he was in the first. I'm talking about Rashawn Gary, not Preston Smith. He was in the first half, and he had a sack, didn't he? Pretty sure he did. No. He didn't?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he's been playing better. Better than Preston Smith, that's for sure. But then he got hurt, and apparently they announced today that he has a hip injury. But he's participating. He didn't not participate. But nobody said anything about this injury in the second half.
They didn't have practice today, so it was all hypotheticals.
Oh, it's just listed injury report. They had
right.
I guess you're right.
And what they would have done if they had a practice.
I have a hip injury. Like
you have a hip.
Hey, this is a lean machine.
Yeah, you have a hip. It's a machine. I don't know about lean. Good Lord. Man, it's not fluoride now. I think there's a gas.
What is wrong with your eyes, Jeremy?
There's a gas leak in the whole damn thing.
I just can't believe I saw that.
Yeah,
I've seen every part of Elliott. I've seen every part of Elliott, but there, and now it just crossed off the list.
Ooh, goodness! I don't have a bullet for that. All right, so Jair Alexander is a stud. He's
True story.
I think he's an all-pro. Kevin King, I'd say he's above average. He's good, but one thing I noticed about him is that he does not tackle well. He throws his body around too much. There was somebody who said that basically it might have been Gary Ellerson, I think, from Milwaukee Sports Talk Radio, who basically said, you can't teach tackling in the NFL. Once you get to the NFL, if you can't tackle, you're not going to learn how to tackle. So it's like some people just like to throw their body around and make big hits, but
you're right. They're not going to worry about the fundamentals up at this level.
Yeah, it's like they figure you can already tackle, or they just don't work on it because it's like that's almost a given. But speak on the opposite side of that, Adrian Amos had. I mean, I even wrote it right down here for the notes. He had like 2 perfect form tackles that were just spot on, exactly how you wanted to. And he's been playing very well, and so has Darnell Savage. Both our safeties are playing better. I would say Savage is actually trending even steeper and in the right direction. He had a was it a delayed blitz or just a straight up blitz that saved a drive?
He came up between the was it the garden center or the garden?
I mean, he kind of meandered his way in there, went unblocked, and that saved a drive. Right. And that was near the end of the game. So Savage has been looking much, much better in the past 4 or 5 games. I don't know if you've seen from the tape, Jeremy, if they're letting him. I think they're letting him kind of roam around a little bit more.
They're just letting him
go,
be Darnell, which is let him go and just make plays.
Yeah, which is it seems to be excelling at that. I think before they had him kind of constrained and bottled up and playing in the goofy zone stuff all the time, and it's like.
You know what? And I have to apologize. Rashawn Gary did have a sack in the first quarter, I think it was. So you were right, Andy.
Apologize. He was crying in the corner.
Oh, Andy was? Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry about that too, Andy.
He's in the chat room and he's very upset.
We got Rashawn in the
Rashawn,
the Zoom waiting room.
I just
Patreon.
I mean, are we gonna be? I don't think he's gonna be able to perform this weekend.
Rashawn, I just have to say from the very first day that you became a Packer, I've loved you. I've got nothing else.
I will say this about him. That boy, he can hustle. Because there have been probably half a dozen plays this year where he has tracked down the quarterback on straight hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Just where, look, let's be honest. If it were the Smiths, it probably wouldn't have happened just because he hustled more, which you like to see. I mean, he's athletic freak, but he's got a lot of hustle. So
what's wrong with Z?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
What problem do you have with Z?
Yeah.
Huh?
Me? No fluoride in my water.
I'm talking to you.
So negative.
Right. Oh, so peace. All right, peace.
Aww.
Yeah. Isn't that dandy?
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Happy Hanukkah.
Christmas.
That was our Christmas gift to him. Remember we talked about this, Elliot?
Yeah, I remember.
Wow. Yeah. We might have to release this as audio only.
Like last week?
Oh!
I forgot to record. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't forget. I swear that is not the thing with Zoom. Like I can't believe more people have a problem with that because
I'm sure it's happened. I mean,
I hit record, hit stop, hit record again. It recorded the 3 seconds from the first recording. How is that not an epidemic across the United States?
An epidemic.
I'm not joking.
Is there a vaccine for that?
So our school district is switching to Zoom this, in a couple weeks. I already warned the teacher I work with on that. I'm like, watch out for this. Yeah. So we will have video.
All right. So the last thing I got here for special teams is, and I'll read this verbatim here too. The rest of the special teams are a clown car. Right after the Packers scored a TD late in the game, special teams immediately allowed a 58-yard return for
crazy.
Just kick return, not for touchdown, kick return. Yeah. And Mason Crosby got him out. Yeah. And I think that resulted in a touchdown and made it 31-24 at that point.
They shouldn't have been in. They should not have even been in the game.
Yeah, realistically, again, we're kind of splitting hairs here, but this probably should have been a blowout. But again, it's on the road, division opponent, in a place that we have struggled with. We're 10-3, and as we've kind of hinted in this podcast today, that the Saints got beat by the Eagles. Basically, right after, while this game was going on, we were watching, we were paying attention to the score of that game. Jalen Hurts for the Eagles. I mean, look, he's the starter now. I don't think Wentz is coming back. They beat basically the number one seed in the NFC. And Hurts, actually, he started. They benched Wentz in our game, and he came in and he looked good. He threw a touchdown on 4th and 18. Remember, these long 4th downs with the Eagles always just seem to kill the Packers. Lord, oh my God. There's a fluoride epidemic up there.
Gotta have the green man.
Oh, there's Elliot.
Gotta have the green man.
All right, we need new material.
If you're gonna talk about the Eagles, you gotta have the green man. There he is.
Wait a minute. That reminds me. So you said that was Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
There's an episode where they You're gonna have to find this after, but I have to bring it up. There's an episode where Charlie or the other characters, they think they've hired Donovan McNabb to do like a motivational speech to some of their employees.
Oh yeah.
And this guy gets pulls up in like an old Honda Accord, like a 30-year-old Honda Accord, and they're sitting at this place it's supposed to be. And this guy gets out, and it's not Donovan McNabb. And he gets up and he starts talking. He goes, "Hi everybody, I'm Donovan McNabb." He goes, "I eat McDonald's." He goes, "I eat McDonald's 3 times a day to stay healthy and strong."
Oh my God.
And then he just gets in his car and drives away. I'm almost crying. But he's not even Don McNabb, but he says he is. And then he talks about, he's like holding a Big Mac, like with a McDonald's wrapper on it. Doing like an infomercial. It's hilarious.
So I feel sorry for the majority of people who
I know
could consume this sort of thing on audio.
Oh my God!
But I can't help myself. If we're going to talk about the Eagles,
hey, we're 10-3, man. We're 10-3.
Yeah, we're celebrating a little bit.
Yes, agreed. I do need to jump over more to the positive train for sure, because hell, the offense looks great. I hope they do get the kind of the killer instinct. If we could see that in the playoffs, this team does kind of seem to lack it a little bit, but
we got 3 games here to prove it.
No doubt.
And we're gonna. It's gonna be a slaughter Saturday.
Ooh. So predictions. We're playing the Panthers, and it is at home, right?
Yep.
It's like I never know what venue that. Now it's supposed to be cold. It's supposed to be snowy, or just cold. Or...
I think just cold. Not too cold. It's supposed to be like 30 or something like that. So
okay.
Oh,
I mean Carolina,
tropical.
There you go.
It's gonna be. I mean, all bets are off. That.
Think about how much fluoride is in that. It's an ocean of fluoride. Well, no McCaffrey. That's huge.
That is huge. I think.
I mean, again, it doesn't mean we can just waltz through it, but he's obviously the number.
No,
one
but that's a known weakness of the Packers. Like that's that's a big deal.
So, prediction time. I'm basically sticking with it's almost been like copy and paste every week. 31-24 31-21 pack.
Well, I think Aaron Rodgers, smells victory.
Smells victory.
Yeah. I think he
What's it
tastes
smell like?
it. I think he tastes victory. I think he's close enough to taste it. So I think we're gonna crash 40 this time. It's gonna be so let's see. I always struggle with like rounding off the numbers properly, but let's say 42 to I don't know, 17.
I like that.
This is a concerning game for me just because Carolina does have a pretty good defense. Their offense is obviously beat up, and
What is their record? I don't know.
4-9. So they're pretty much out of the playoff race. They have not much to play for, but they could come in and knock a number 1 seed down
Exactly.
a peg for the second week in a row.
Talk to the Saints about the Eagles, right?
Right. Their pass rush does concern me because they do have some pretty good pass rushers. But I think offensively, we should have no issue stopping them. They literally have Teddy Bridgewater, Chris Samuel, and a bunch of Jags, as Andy likes to say. So I'm going to go Packers 30, Panthers 10.
Ooh.
Almost the same margin as me. That's not bad. I like it.
I want to see Rodgers go on a tear and get the MVP.
That's what I mean. I think
swipe it away from Mahomes. Outdo Mahomes the last 3 years.
Right.
Last 3 games. That'd be awesome.
Out Mahomes him.
Yeah. Out Mahomes him.
I mean, can you imagine if he ends up with like 50-something touchdowns to like 4?
It's possible. I mean, he's 39.
So I'm thinking just 6 or 7. Just
6 or 7.
This
if it's
game?
42, yeah.
Yeah.
If he comes out and throws like 5 or 6 touchdowns.
I mean, if we had 50 this game, that would be pretty good, I think. If he could do 50 touchdowns, I would be pleasantly surprised.
That might be a
You do realize we're not playing the Green Bay West Wildcats. We're playing the Carolina Panthers.
Oh.
Well, if we were playing against the Packers defense,
we could probably cross 60 because we could definitely do 1 a minute.
Okay. That would be
of game
imagine
time.
if we came out and hung like 50 on them. That'd be awesome. Points.
Let's
not
do it.
touchdown.
Let's do it. Well, they do have to increase their point differential just for tie-breaking purposes.
Yeah,
so
no kidding.
That 40-point differential would really help them. I think they're like 90 points difference between outscoring their opponents. So tack on 40 here, 130. That looks pretty good.
Yeah. We do need that differential to go up. You are dead.
I don't want to see them like come out at home again and be like,
right,
where's the energy at home? Like,
right. It shouldn't come down to that though, because we have the head-to-head tiebreaker against the Saints, and that's who it should be against. So,
and literally, we have the world to play for. We literally have the world to play for.
That's actually. I mean, I think that's great that we have something to play for the entire rest of the season.
Right.
Period. End of story.
And we have no fans at Lambeau, but we have literally the writing on the wall that says win out and you have all your games at Lambeau in the playoffs.
I gotta be thinking Rodgers is in there. He's like, let's get this thing here.
Yeah.
Get it. Here.
Yeah, we need that.
This is once in a lifetime opportunity from that perspective too, because you only get one number 1 seed who gets a bye.
Yeah. Right.
Not 2.
Yeah.
Only 1 team.
Yeah.
So you're really playing for it.
Right.
Huge.
Yeah.
That bye means so much because you play one less game and then you pretty much have to win 1 game to get to the NFC Championship. Where if you're a wild card, you have to get 2 games to get there. Right. And that's really, really difficult in this day and age.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You said it. That's it. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack,
go. Go Pack, go, baby.
Podcast.
Chair.
I know, right?